Nagaland and Department of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources collaboratively released 2 trucks of fingerlings fish into Tizi River in Dimapur. ADC Dimapur, Muakam Zaktsitir appeals to Dimapur public to protect resources. Miraki Entertainment Mr. Dimapur Season 2 2022 was held at Nagaland Bamboo Resource Center with Ausanap Sitir declared as the winner, followed by first runner-up Vitoka Khati and second runner-up Ketosile Kutso. Senior Congress leader and former governor of Rajasthan, Goa, Gujarat and Uttarakhand, Margaret Alva have been declared as opposition's joint candidate for vice president. Power, while addressing a press conference, stated that 17 parties are on board for this unanimous decision. 16th round of coup commander level talks between India and China begins at the Chushul-Moldo border meeting point. Both sides are expected to push harder for sooner disengagement from the line of actual control along the eastern Ladakh. Death of a 17-year-old girl studying in class 12 in a private school in Chinasalem sparked massive protest in Tamil Nadu's Kalakurichy. Demanding justice over the death, protesters went on a rampage, setting fire to vehicles and indulging in stone pelting. English Primetime News, I'm Asan. Let's have a look into details. Coming strongly against Nagaland Legislative Assembly members' decision to support NDA candidate Draupadi Murmu in the coming presidential election, the Nagaland Pradesh Congress Committee on Saturday issued a press release condemning the move of the UDA coalition government. The NPCC mentioned that MLAs of a Christian state under the leadership of Chief Minister Nipurio voting for Hindutva presidential candidate will transform Nagaland for Christ into Nagaland for Hindutva. NBCC further stated that political and economic issues in India are divided on religious lines. NPCC furthermore lamented that money and power have destroyed honesty and Christianity in Nagaland, and people nowadays worship money and power and not God. Parent District Civil Society and NSCN-IM held a one-day discussion on Indo-Naga peace talks at St. Xavier College Auditorium, Jaluki on Friday. The meeting was hosted by Nagaland Ziliang People Organization and attended by 26 CSOs including women, youth and student organizations, village councils, affiliated unit, church leaders and concerned citizens. During the meeting, the House firmly stood to support the Indo-Naga peace talks on the political principle of one people, one nation, on the will and line of acceptance, honorable and inclusiveness of all Nagas without borders. Furthermore, the civil society organization rejected any gradual solution, economic package or divisive policy for the interest of Nagas. The CSOs also urged upon all Naga political groups and Government of India to bring about a logical final agreement at the earliest. Rengma Public Organization Dimapur of 2019 to 2022 tenure has called for a general meeting in view of upcoming Ngata Festival 2022. Organization has informed an organizing committee whereby Aku Kat has been chosen as convener, Tenye Binlo Himp as secretary and Jonah Teb as treasurer. Committee has informed that its first organizing committee meeting will be held on 23rd July at 10 a.m. in the conference hall on 5th floor of Hotel Sep Tower in Purana Bazar, Dimapur. Members have been asked to attend meeting without fail. Focus IFAT, Nagaland and Department of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources collaboratively released 2 trucks of fingerlings fish into Tizi River in Dimapur on Saturday. ADC Dimapur Muakamzatir, while speaking at the launching program, lauded Agriculture Principal Secretary Kiketo Sema for initiating the project and successfully implementing it. ADC also stated that Dimapur district has a low prospect of fish production using ponds. ADC further iterated that riverine fisheries is the apt method to enhance fish production. ADC also appealed to Dimapur public to refrain from using bleaching powders, generators or batteries that can cause massive damage. President Simi Kakamihoho Kashito Yiptomi also appreciated Agriculture Minister Kaito Aye and APC Kikito Sema for the project and urged Gaunburas of nearby villages to enforce strict rules for protecting the resources.
They've been a funding resource, funding partner for God. At the same time, resources can the channel group is of no use. So I also want to make a note of appreciation. So I just want Agriculture Production Commissioner. I think with his due effort, I think one good thing if
A protest demanding justice for a schoolgirl suddenly turned violent on Sunday. Notably, a class 12 girl had allegedly committed suicide after getting assaulted by her teacher in Kalakurichi, following which parents and relatives had blamed the school authorities for their mismanagement. In addition, protesters torched school buses and school buildings of the private school on Sunday. Meanwhile, several police personnel present in the scene were injured. This forced the authorities to deploy additional police forces to maintain the law and order situation. Another incident occurred at Kukidolong area along the National Highway 29 on Sunday. Reportedly, a private taxi was en route to Dimapur from Kohima at the time of accident. 2 Assam Rifle Jawans on duty near mobile vehicle checkpost sustained injuries and were rushed to referral hospital where they are being treated. Police have cleared that the incident was not a hit and run case. As seen in the visuals, the eco van was badly damaged. The driver has been taken into custody by police. Probe is still underway and more details are awaited. Mukokchung Battalion on Sunday organized a medical camp at Chingtan village, Mukokmon district, Nagaland. The camp was organized with an aim to provide medical aid including free checkup of various diseases, sickness and preliminary diagnosis and treatment to the needy villagers who were unable to avail proper medical facilities due to remoteness of the village. Meanwhile, the team of Assam Rifles provided medical aid to 120 villagers of Chingtang village and surrounding villages and distributed requisite medicines to the needy villagers. During the medical camp, Join Indian Army Agnipat campaign was also launched and sports items were distributed to generate awareness of the Agnipat scheme and encouraged youth to join Indian Army. Furthermore, the village prominence and village elders appreciated the efforts of the Mukokchung Battalion and expressed gratitude for organizing a meaningful event for noble cause. Twensang Battalion Assam Rifles on Saturday organized a friendly football match at Jang Langshu village, Mon district under the aegis of Headquarters 7th Sector Assam Rifles. As part of Feed India campaign, the main goal was to motivate youth to show their soccer skill and to connect with local people. Meanwhile, the match was witnessed by more than 350 local spectators and the match was won by Jang Langshu village with a score of 2-1. A trophy along with gift hampers was also presented to the winning team. Furthermore, head Gondbra of Chanlangshu village, Wan Mai Konyak, along with other members of village council and student union, appreciated the gesture of Assam Rifles and conveyed their gratitude. Nagaland on Saturday reported 6 fresh cases of COVID-19. Notably, Koima registered 5 new cases, while Dimapur district reported 1 case. It may be mentioned that the death toll remained unchanged at 767 as there were no new fatalities in the last 24 hours. Meanwhile, state's active case load have now increased to 60. Furthermore, the recovery toll also increased to 33,278 as 7 patients recovered from the infection in the last 24 hours. On the 17th day of search operation, the death toll in None district has rose to 55 with the recovery of 1 more dead body on Saturday. Meanwhile, 16 bodies still remain missing. Notably, a railway construction site in None district witnessed a massive landslide in the wee hours of June 30, following which over 70 people were affected. The floods in Assam has affected around 90 lakh population. Notably, as many as 9,918 villages under 152 revenue circles have been affected. A total of 195 people lost their lives in floods and landslides this year. 25,670 houses have been fully or severely damaged, while 278,260 houses have been partially damaged in flood. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma on Saturday, while addressing a press conference at Janata Bhawan, Guwahati, stated that the government is working to minimize the problems faced by people during the ongoing floods. Furthermore, Sarma mentioned that the state government has paid 4 lakh each to the next kin of deceased people. In addition, the Education Department is also set to provide additional textbooks to the affected students.
By 15 September, because all the department will start.
An earthquake measuring 4.8 on Richter scale occurred in Manipur on Saturday. The earthquake occurred at 11:42 p.m. on Saturday in the southeast of Moirang in Manipur. The depth of the earthquake was 94 kilometers. Indo-Naga Capital Region Deputy Commissioner Talo Potom on Saturday said that the infamous order issued by Naharlagun Extra Assistant Commissioner directing hotels and restaurants to remove all signboards with the word beef written on it would be withdrawn. The DC said that the order was issued by the ESC with good intention and also as a preventive measure not to give a communal color to it. He added that there were no restriction on eating meat, but putting it on display along the highway was actually portraying an ugly picture of the capital. The DC has appealed to the people to not let matter blow out of proportion. Train service for passengers to Tripura and parts of the northeast is set to resume from July 22. Notably, due to the massive landslide in the Lamding-Badarbur section in Assam, services had been suspended for more than 2 months. Meanwhile, all long-distance trains are also set to resume operation gradually. NPC President Sharad Pawar on Sunday said that senior Congress leader and former governor Margaret Alva will be the opposition's joint candidate for vice president. The announcement comes a day after the BJP-led NDA said that West Bengal Governor Jagdeep Dhankar will be its candidate for the country's second most important office. Sunny's sub-division expressed gratitude to MLA Advisor Horticulture and Border Affairs Matong Yantan for initiating and conducting demand-driven skill development training in construction for multi-skilled technician implemented by Department of Employment and Entrepreneurship, Government of Nagaland. Meanwhile, training was started from 11th July till 16th July. During the training, 11 villages took part, and among the 17 villages, 50 trainees attended the training. The 16th round of Corps Commander level talks between India and China has begun at the Chushul-Moldo border meeting point on Sunday. Both sides are expected to push harder for sooner disengagement from the line of actual control along the eastern Ladakh. The Indian side is being led by Fire and Fury Corps Commander Lieutenant General A. Sen Gupta. The 15th round of talks between India and China was held on March 11, 2022, whereby both parties agreed to work together to resolve differences along the LAC.
In the remaining friction points along line of action.
The Bharatiya Janata Party-led National Democratic Alliance held a meeting on Saturday evening on the presidential pool preparation at the Parliament building in New Delhi. The meeting was attended by BJP National President J.P. Nagga, Union Ministers Pralhat Joshi, Bhupendra Yadav and BJP MP Hema Malini, among others. Lok Janshakti Party Ram Vilas leader Chirag Paswan also attended the meeting. It is to be noted that nearly 4,800 elected MPs and MLAs will be voting on Monday to elect the 15th President of India. With NDA candidate Draupadi Murmu having a clear edge over opposition's Yashwant Sinha, as over 60% votes are expected to be cast in her favor. Meanwhile, the polling will take place in Parliament House and state legislative assemblies, for which ballot boxes have already reached their destinations. The counting of votes will take place at Parliament House on July 21 and the next president will take oath on July 25. On the other hand, a meeting of Rajya Sabha floor leaders is underway at Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu's residence in Delhi. The Bharatiya Janata Party on Saturday named West Bengal Governor Jagdeep Dhankar as its candidate for the vice presidential election, which will be held on August 6th. Meanwhile, the BJP President J.P. Nadda made the announcement after a meeting of the party's highest decision-making body. The meeting was chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and the last date for filing the nomination for the election is July 19. The BJP president also said that the 71-year-old Dhankar was picked as the NDA's candidate after deliberations on several names. J.P. Nadda also said that Dhankar has excellent knowledge of Indian constitution and he is also well versed with legislative affairs. Soon after the announcement, Dhankar thanked PM Narendra Modi for nominating as the vice presidential candidate. On Sunday, India set a new world record by administering 2 billion COVID vaccine doses. Notably, India has launched world's largest vaccination drive last year. While reacting to the new milestone achieved by India, a medical scientist and member of National Institute for Transforming India, Dr. Vinod K. Paul, hailed the achievement and credited the government and people of the country for having been able to receive this feat. Meanwhile, Dr. Poonam Khetrapal Singh, who is the Regional Director of World Health Organization in Southeast Asia, congratulated India for achieving the new feat.
That this is a magnificent milestone for India, a magnificent milestone for the world, because we have vaccinated 200 crore doses to the people of India. And remember, we have achieved this using our own vaccines. We have been Atmanirbhar. We have used our Covaxin, we have used our Covishield, and this vaccine has reached the nook and every nook and corner of our great way that this.
Congratulations, India, for administering over 2 billion COVID-19 vaccine doses. This is yet another evidence of the country's commitment and efforts to minimize the impact of the ongoing pandemic. COVID-19 vaccines provide protection against severe disease and death for all variants. We must continue our efforts to ensure everyone, everywhere benefits from these life-saving vaccines. Let us not forget that the pandemic is still around. Even after taking the vaccine, we must remember to take all precautionary measures.
India reported 20,528 new coronavirus infections in the last 24 hours. Notably, 49 new fatalities were also reported, which took the death count to 5,25,709. Meanwhile, India's active case load has increased to 1,43,499. Furthermore, with new cases, India's total COVID tally is now at 4,37,50,599. The death of a female school student sparked a massive protest in Tamil Nadu's Kallakurichi on Sunday. At 17-year-old girl studying in class 12 in a private school, China Salem, was found dead on July 13 in the hostel premises. The girl ended her life after jumping from third floor. After protesters went on a rampage, setting fire to vehicles and indulging in stone pelting as stone protesters demanded justice over the death. In contrast, police opened fire and the air twice to restrain the mobs. Meanwhile, Chief Minister M.K. Stalin appealed to the people to maintain peace and assured them that those guilty would be punished. Furthermore, a post-mortem report clearly indicated that the girl had sustained injuries before her death. Police has registered a case and a probe is underway. Ahead of the upcoming presidential polls, the Karnataka BJP MLAs have been shifted to a private hotel in Bengaluru on Saturday evening. This was carried out following the directives of the party High Command BJP Chief Whip M. Satish Reddy. In addition, Reddy has also advised MLAs to remain in the hotel until Monday morning before leaving for Vidhana Soda to vote. Meanwhile, the 16th presidential election is scheduled on July 18. With presidential polls just 1 day away, Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik pledged support to the NDA candidate Draupadi Murmu. In addition, he confirmed that Murmu will get full support from Biju Janata Dal. Furthermore, he called Murmu the daughter of Odisha. Notably, the presidential polls are scheduled for July 18 and the counting will take place on July 21. Miraki Entertainment Mr. Dimapur Season 2 2022 was held on Saturday at Nagaland Bamboo Resource Center. The winner of Mr. Dimapur 2022 is Ausnap Zitir, followed by first runner-up Vitoka Khati and second runner-up Kitosele Kotsu. Meanwhile, out of 5 subtitles, Mr. Popularity and Best Ethnic Wear was backed by Ausnap Zitir. Mr. Talent was given to Vitoka Asumi, Best Ramp Walk to Zanben Y Kikon, and Mr. Multimedia was backed by K. Kivika Sumi. At the event, Dimapur Deputy Commissioner Sachin Jaiswal graced in as the special guest and Chief Medical Officer of Police Referral Hospital Chumukidima and Adhau CMO as the guest of honor. Notably, the judges were Upang Chamir, Zenia no Awomi and Watila Zupa. Event was sponsored by Lisu Care Pure and Natural and Beyond Sound. It is to be mentioned that Mr. Dimapur Season 2 was organized as an event charity for the Ebenezer Orphanage Home. Ahead of the monsoon session of Parliament, an all-party meeting was called on Sunday at the Parliament House Annex. Out of 45 political parties invited, 36 parties attended the meeting. Leaders of various parties attended the meeting convened by the government to discuss the issues to be taken up during the monsoon session and seek their cooperation for the smooth functioning of both houses of Parliament. The opposition raised the issues including price rise, the row over unparliamentary words, and demanded the withdrawal of Agnipath recruitment scheme. Furthermore, Congress took strong objection to the absence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi from the meeting convened by the government. Congress General Secretary Jairam Ramesh questioned the Prime Minister's absence from the meeting. Meanwhile, the meeting was chaired by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, while Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi, Arjun Meghwal and Leader of the House in Rajya Sabha Piyush Goyal were also present. Notably, the monsoon session of Parliament will begin on July 18 and will end on August 12. Senior Congress leader and former governor of Rajasthan, Goa, Gujarat and Uttarakhand, Margaret Alva have been declared as opposition's joint candidate for vice president. Addressing a press conference after holding a meeting of opposition leaders at his residence, Pawar said that 17 parties are on board for this unanimous decision. Pawar said that besides the 17 parties, the support of Trinamool Congress and Aam Aadmi Party will make Alva the joint candidate of a total of 19 parties. Reportedly, Alva is 80 years old and a former union minister. She will be filing her nomination on July 19. Notably, the announcement came a day after the BJP-led NDA said West Bengal Governor Jagdeep Dhankar will be its candidate for the country's second most important office. Besides this, an all-party opposition meeting was convened at NCP Chief Sharad Pawar's residence in Delhi on Sunday. The meeting was called to decide on the vice presidential candidate and the work on an agenda for the monsoon session of the parliament. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal wrote to the Prime Minister Narendra Modi to give him clearance for Singapore visit. Notably, the Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has been invited by Singapore High Commissioner Simon Wong to speak at World Cities Summit on August 1. In addition, the Chief Minister is expected to present Delhi model at the world-class conference. Meanwhile, according to various sources, the matter is pending with the office of the new Lieutenant Governor Vinay Kumar Saxena, who took over the charge from Anil Baijal at the end of May. Furthermore, in 2019, the centre had withheld permission to Chief Minister Kejriwal for a similar visit. After Sri Lankan protesters forced former President of Sri Lanka, Gotabaya Jayaprakash, to resign, now Sri Lankan protesters are targeting the former president's son. In a video that has been circulated online, a small group of Sri Lankan protesters in US gathered outside the president's residence of former president's son, Manoj Jayaprakash. In addition, the protesters shouted slogans demanding the former president who had fled the country to return to his country, Sri Lanka. Furthermore, the protesters stated that former President Ranil Jayaprakash had stolen money from the people of Sri Lanka and had bought luxury properties. The protesters also demanded Manoj Jayaprakash to declare his assets and threatened to bring legal action against him if it was not done.
This is his son. This house was bought from the money stolen from our country. So
For the Sri Lanka, SRI, LA.
Maintaining her reputation as ace shuttler, PV Sindhu won big on Sunday as she clinched the title of Singapore Open 2022 title after defeating China's Wang Xingyi in the final of the women's singles category. This is PV Sindhu's third title of 2022. PV Sindhu had advanced to the finals after defeating Japan's Sana Kawakami in the semi-finals on Saturday.
It's gone wide, and a third title of the year for Pusala Venkata Sindhu.
Well, viewers, that will be all in the bulletin. Let's meet next time with more news and updates.
अरे तूने अभी तक कुछ किया ही नहीं।
अरे ये तो लो क्वालिटी टंकी है।
होशियारी मत दिखाओ, दुकानदार ने 5 साल की गारंटी दी है।
अरे 5 साल छोड़िए, इसका पानी पियेंगे ना तो बहुत जल्दी हम लोग पहुंचेंगे। अंदर का सरफेस प्लेन, स्मूथ और प्योर व्हाइट भी नहीं है। आप एक काम क्यों नहीं करते, निप्को ताज का एक टंकी